today. Stay present, man. 3.5 hours, do this together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us. Gang on me, gang on 3, 1, 2, 3, gang!
This is no ordinary job.
That silver and black is different.
This is the silver and black.
It just hits different.
This is the Raiders.
Ride for the brand. The greatness of the Raiders lies in its future. May the best is yet to come.
I'm officially a Raider. I'm excited to be humble and hungry and get to work.
That's the big boy football, right? You got Moss. That's what you want to see right there.
The grit of this franchise sticks out. This is a historic franchise. You know, it's really important to me that we're a gritty team, that the way that they were back in the old days.
Just amazing concentration.
But why not us? Why not this staff? You know, why not this group of players?
There's a certain mentality and play style that's expected from different organizations. Right.
I just want to do my 111. I believe that leadership is earned, it's not given.
I feel like I've always been meant to be a Raider.
Throw wide open. First down and more. It's Jack Bish.
So that first step was transferring and challenging myself, being in an uncomfortable environment. Because when you're uncomfortable, you're able to grow. It's the motto of the Raiders. Once a Raider, always a Raider.
That's what we're going to be about, winning.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Man, there's a certain play style and mentality with a defense like this from an organization like this. And we're talking defense tonight. I mean, we talked our heads off with the whole offense thing at our last show. I hope y'all really went and watched that. You can watch it on my channel. You can watch it on
we dug
channel.
into the rabbit hole. We dug into the rabbit hole, had some babies in there, and then moved them around. I mean, we were
exactly. We were going to talk defense, but tonight we're talking exclusively defense. Rob Leonard's defense, and the Bay Boys is back.
The Bay Boys are back. And you know what, Black? Honestly, it's okay we didn't talk about it last time because more information came out, particularly about one person that I was already thinking about. We got more information on him. So there is plenty to talk about. But yes, if you are joining us, just let us know by giving us that Raiders. Sorry, I can't scream too
Raiders.
My son's sleeping in the other room peacefully. We cannot disturb the sleep of a baby, or else you pay the price.
Yeah, you definitely pay the price.
But
so
I have reasons to believe. This is going to be the topic, that the Raiders defense this year is going to look a lot like the Seahawks defense last year, right down to some of the players that were drafted, like Kean Sloan, that I believe were drafted to do a specific thing that a Seahawks player was doing last year. So, however, it makes sense, right? Because one, the Seahawks kind of ran a modified 3-4-4-3 defense that can get into a 5-2. Number two, the Seahawks were very good at rushing and getting to the quarterback with just the front four. And three, the Seahawks did not have any one person who got like 15 sacks. Most of their sacks were 7 sacks, 5 sacks, but they had multiple people who got 7 sacks, multiple people who got 5 sacks, and multiple people who were getting 3 to 4 sacks. The same thing when it comes to interceptions. So their defense was very good at bending and not breaking. And yes, this is something that I found surprising. I thought their defense was going to be we don't give anything away. No, but the defense is actually, let's keep playing, let's be methodic, let's bend, not break till we can get a takeaway. So with that, Black, I got a question for you, my man. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about the 2026 Raiders defense? Not last year, this coming year. What is the one thing that comes to mind?
The one thing that comes to mind is versatility.
Damn, I just put him on the spot. This was not planned. I put him on the spot. And honestly, if he had said, I wasn't thinking, but I would have been like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't blame him. Versatility. Okay, so here's the thing, though. Cerebral, welcome. So for the rest of us who are joining us, come on in, give us some ratings. Let's get some chats going here. Let's drop some coins. If you got coins to drop, we're okay with those too. Why do you say versatility? Knowing that, of course, we started by saying we might move to a 3-4 defense from a 4-3 defense, right? That was one of the first things that Tim said, right? In offseason. Okay. Why versatility?
Well, versatility because just by the way we drafted a lot of players that can play different positions.
Okay.
And also one thing I heard like Quay Walker say that for the first time he's learning all the linebacker positions and so we essentially want to be able to run any kind of package at any time that we want to. And I do agree with you that we're going to probably mimic or to some degree have something similar to Seattle's defense. They were in the 3-4, but primarily that was a base defense, but primarily they were in the nickel defense at least 75% of the time, even against heavy packages on offense. So what they are relying on is different players like nickelback still being physical. So they have to be versatile, not only be able to cover, but also stop the run.
That's a really good point because when you're right, because when you look at the way that this defense has been assembled this year, we have plenty of people who can play multiple positions. The Seahawks defense last year ran a lot of nickel, and they also ran a lot of dime meaning four DBs. And that could also be modified, like bringing one safety way down to cover even a receiver. And I do think we do see a lot of that in the way they drafted players. And if you look at some of the players that Seattle had last year and some of the players that we drafted, you can kind of see exactly, as I'm saying, the way they kind of want to put a particular player in their mind. But I also get this huge impression that versatility is going to mean the front seven, that front from the sitting lineman to the back lineman, there's going to be a lot of movement there. There's going to be players who are going to be playing on the line who normally wouldn't play on the line, but on the one play they're going to play on the line, they're going to shift. There's going to be a ton of movement, and I think that's where I think that's what the most amount of movement is coming from. Will be coming from.
Yeah, and that's why I say versatility because if you have versatile players, you can stick many people there. Because like if we're playing in the nickel defense with the 5 DBs that allow us to have, we can have, or even in the dime with 6 DBs, that allows us to put like Chin and Palomao closer to the line of scrimmage, and they both can be in at the same time. So we can stop the run if they decide they want to try to trick us with the run, because our priority is stopping the run. Right. But if they do decide to pass it, we don't have to rely on Chin or Palomao playing deep third, because we'll have another set of safety back there, which would be Stooks, maybe even Taron Johnson.
For those coming in, welcome in. Go ahead, keep going.
Or even Dalton Johnson. So I just think that we're gonna have a lot of different things, different looks that people aren't going to be accustomed to.
Okay, and it's really, really cool that you say that, because again, the only thing I have to, and the reason I went with the Seattle defense is simply because one, Kubiak came from there, so that's the defense he just won a Super Bowl with. There's no way he's going to turn around and say I want to do something different. And it just so happens that Rob Ryan is somebody who was trained in that system scheme anyways, and this is the reason why Rob Leonard was hired so quickly, because what we heard specifically was, oh yeah, his ability to explain this stuff is just off the charts. It wasn't that he just knew it, but his ability to explain it, which means that he can put it together really, really well. And when I look, I'm like, I'm seeing so much versatility. I'm seeing so much movement in that linebacker core. And this is the reason why, let's go specifically to a player, seeing Kean Sloan, right? This is a player that a lot of Raiders have been talking about. I don't know if you got any pictures of him, but I do know Raider Nation has been talking a lot about him. And the thing that I'm currently known for in Raider Nation is the guy who keeps saying that he's not an edge, he's a linebacker. Namely, because when I look at this defense, I'm like, based on what his measurables are showing me, they want to make him somebody like a Drake. What's his name? Not Leonard. Not London. For the Seattle Seahawks, Drake Thomas, number 42 for the Seattle Seahawks. If you go look at his play, he plays in a way that I think Clint Kubiak would love to have a player who can do that, because he's the underrated. You're not going to know who he is because he's not very flashy. However, he's basically the anchor of the defense in getting both sacks, interceptions, and tackles. And most of the nation would have no idea who he is. Right?
Yeah, no, I barely know who he is, but I
Look at his stats.
I have seen flashes of him in OTAs. A lot of people, I did hear his name come up quite often, and I'm curious to see how he plays or where they're going to play him at, and just to see how he performs.
Right. When we're thinking defense this year, we're thinking 2026 defense. What is our hope for the defense? I guess let's just gauge that, because I can tell you right now, most of Raider Nation is mostly thinking about the offense and who's going to start at QB. The funny thing is, I think the defense is the biggest story because there's nothing set on defense. Most of the story on offense is set. The only thing we know who the quarterback is, even if he's going to debate who's going to start week one, we at least know there's going to be a week one. It's going to be one of these two guys in this position. Outside of Max Crosby and maybe Eric Stokes, the entire defense is wide open.
Yeah, we don't even know who our other corner is.
Exactly.
I'm seeing other people. I'm seeing a lot of people slotting Porter there. I don't see that.
Yeah, because you're who are you thinking? McCoy?
Well, I'm not thinking McCoy because I don't think they want to necessarily just throw him out there already. I do think that Masses will probably get the head up there. But I mean, that's one of those things where it is a competition in camp. Like, just because I said the quarterback position, I don't think is a competition. And a lot of times, even in camp, it's not necessarily about competition. It's about, let's see who fits the scheme, and let's see who's actually playing, who's showing up. In this situation, I think the corner position is an open competition, and I think maybe Masses have a little bit more experience there. But the thing is, it's going to boil down to if he can tackle or not, or how physical he's going to be, or whatnot. But
you're right.
Yeah, but we don't know. I don't know. Like you said, the defense is kind of like it's up in the air. Other than maybe even Jeremy Chin, because we know he's going to start somewhere, probably at this strong safety, because he played very, very strong last year.
So here's what I want to do. We'll do both. We'll do it, but I'll go with you first because I want to put you straight on the spot. I'm going to give a few things first, but after I'm done talking, I want you to give us your defense lineup in a 3-4, in a base 3-4. Every player, who do you think will slot there? Before he does that, the one thing with the system that I believe we're going to run, if it's going to look a lot like Seattle, is each defensive player does need to know how to tackle, because it's going to be, because again, we're mostly going to be rushing with base. We're mostly rushing with 4, no more than 5 with the blitz. So the corners are going to be able to they need to know how to contain and tackle. And the thing I can tell you is, based on watching Massis' defensive play, he's really good at takeaways. I noticed that. However, I don't know much about his tackling, but I do know if this defense is going to work, being able to contain and maintain your tackle is going to be essential. So, with that said, Black, give us your lineup.
That's tough.
You can start from whichever side you want.
Okay, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be like Max Butler,
Okay. Max Butler. Okay.
Kwity Paye,
Okay.
then Malcolm Kuntz.
Kuntz, outside linebacker.
Yeah, and then see, this is where it kind of get cloudy because it could be Cian Sloan or even
It'll be N'Kobe Dean should be the right. I mean, don't in case you're forgetting Dean. Are you thinking
yeah,
linebacker
you're
outside?
right, you're right.
Yeah.
N'Kobe Dean, right.
Mm-hmm.
And so then,
and then N'Kobe Dean and Quay Walker is actually the most like sure on the defense.
Yeah,
because we actually brought him in specifically for those roles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So actually, yeah. So it'll be from left to right. Be Kuntz, Max, Butler, Kwity Paye.
Okay.
Dean. Well, no, who's the middle linebacker?
Quay Walker. That would be Quay Walker. You brought him to
Quay Walker, right? Then Dean in the middle, and then we'll have Stokes. Then we'll have. I'm going to say Porter just for all intents purposes.
Really?
Oh no, you're asking who I'm thinking, but because see, Porter is a better tackler. That I do know.
But we need takeaways. We need takeaways.
But we need takeaways, right? But I'm going to put Porter there for now.
Okay.
And then in the safety position is going to be
Palomar Johnson, right? Chin. Okay, you're going Chin.
And Stokes.
Chin and Stokes. Okay, so you're going Chin. Why are you going Chin over Palomar or Johnson? Over Johnson because Johnson's a rookie, right?
I'm going with that because he's a rookie, and we're just talking about the base 3-4. Because I don't.
You think there's going to be multiple DBs, safeties in the field
all the time? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because our strength is like. So the question is, why do you pick Chin over Palomar? Well, Chin played solid. You know, he had over 100 tackles. You know, he didn't do anything to really lose his strong safety position. You know, I think if they had to choose between him and Palomar, they're going to choose Chin.
Okay.
But I like Palomar a lot. That's why I'm happy that we are going to play.
What three safeties do you see on the field most of the time in sub packages? Because again, the defense is going to be mostly in sub packages.
Yeah, Chin, Palomar, and Stokes.
Chin, Palomar, and Stokes. So do you think Johnson is going to need another year to?
Well, no, I don't think it's going to be so much another. Well, yeah, I would say yeah, but I think he's going to get playing time this year because there are going to be times that we're going to have Stokes play in the nickel.
So here's a better question.
And then we'll have Dalton Johnson, you know, playing spot coverages.
So here's a better question. Do you think because we're still, even with Dean and Walker, we're still pretty weak on the linebacker core, that we're going to put more safeties on the field to cover for the linebacker weaknesses?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the same thing. I was thinking like, that makes sense. If you got Dean and Quay mostly locking it down.
Yeah, because Chin played linebacker too, and you know, essentially when you're a box safety, you're playing the linebacker position. Like,
I think the one storyline going back to Kean Sloan that could emerge is he could end up just being the third linebacker because Tommy Eichenberg is the other person there. That would be the next after Quay and Dean, and. I mean, I'm not going to shoot the guy down already. He's only been pro for 2 years. But in that 2 years, I don't think I've seen his name mentioned once on the field.
Yeah, me neither. And I don't think that he's probably going to be more like a depth piece.
Depth piece, yeah. So, and that's why I keep saying, like, again, to not keep beating the Kean Sloan is a linebacker drum, but it's like if Kean Sloan is an edge, that we seem way more well-staffed at edge than we do at linebacker, especially outside linebacker, which has been one of the biggest weaknesses that we've had. Even the last good outside linebacker that I can remember for the Raiders, like really good, was Bill Romanowski, who, by the way, is my comp for Kean Sloan. My Kean comp is Bill Romanowski. But outside linebacker, we're not been good in that position at all.
Well, the person that'll come in and play some outside linebacker will be Crawford.
Okay.
So Crawford's going to come in
quit?
because he can play coverage and he can blitz off the edge. So I think he'll be the outside linebacker that comes off the bench first.
Yeah. So this is where we're gonna differ. We're gonna have to see how it works. Because I think it's going to be just solely an edge. In fact, I think the plan. I've said before. I think the plan for him would be to get him to bulk up a little bit and just be, because with his size and his power, like a Max Crosby, like I don't think we're gonna. I know he played linebacker in college, though. I know he did. I just prefer him way more at edge. I say bulk him up and just leave him at edge. That's gonna be your job forever. That's what I like there. I like him there. So I do like Sloan again, Dan being a linebacker, because that fits him much better. You think Adam Butler will keep his job, though? Yeah, the only competition is
I think he'll start. I don't think he'll keep his job. Yeah. I think he'll start, though.
You think he'll start? So you don't put Hemingway there, because I'm about to give you my lineup.
Well, I think Tonka is going to end up playing, especially like on third downs.
On third downs,
because he can get to the quarterback better. Because we're not relying on Adam Butler getting to the quarterback. We're relying on him to stop the run. So it's going to be between him and Booker to kind of like shore that up. But we're putting Tonka in to get to the quarterback. So I don't really see him starting first down there. But if he shows himself in camp that be able to like stop the run and get to
right.
Then it's a whole different. We talking
a
whole different
Isaac,
story.
what up? That is so crazy, because I think Tonka Hemingway is going to be a star.
Nice. That'd be nice if he could start. Uh-oh. My man froze up.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're back. Yeah, we're back. I think it's going to be Tonka Hemingway, Max Crosby, Tonka Hemingway, Kwity Paye to start in a 3-4. So Max, Tonka, Kwity Paye. I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay,
and then for the linebacker,
yeah.
And then for the linebacker, starting from the left side, Coons, Dean, N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker, and the other side, I'm still kind of undecided, but Tommy Eichenberg to start the season, and then until somebody beats him out of that position. Yeah, and that's putting 4 linebackers on the field, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then my DB, my backs would then be obviously Stokes. Yeah, I think you're right on Chin. He has the most experience and the most skill to be strong safety. And then you've got Stooks, and I think Darian Porter will start on the other side as well. But if I have to do a 3-4 where we get more safeties on the field than linebackers, then I think Tommy Eichenberg takes a hike and Dalton Johnson comes in over Palomar, because I think Dalton Johnson is going to have better communication with Stooks right away. That will put him on the field more consistently, even though he's a rookie.
Well, Palomar had 100 tackles last year too, and he definitely played good at the strong safety position, and he's more of a box safety. So I just think that he understands the game a little bit more than Dalton. Dalton will come in at some point. I just don't think that we can start. I just don't think we can start two safeties at rookie.
Stooks and no, I don't think we can either. The only reason I'm giving him a little bit of an edge is because they did come from the same college.
That would help.
I give that a bit of an edge. Yeah, I give that a bit of an edge. And again, with the new regime and a very particular focus, because look, they did draft Stooks really, really high, so they really do have a plan for him. And I think for that, it's going to come down to who's able to communicate best with him for what that plan is, right? Like I can see Johnson beating out of Palomar to be strong safety. I could see that.
Yeah,
but you can't. Yeah, I understand if you can't because as a back safety, tackle is the number one thing because that means you are the last line of defense before a breakaway happens and you're really putting people down. And Palomar is a good tackler.
And plus, this is a rookie. And plus, this is a contract
Again,
season
yeah,
for him
for
too.
him, yeah.
So you know that they're going to expect him to play very well. And not only that, he essentially lost his position to Jeremy Chin.
Jeremy Chin, yeah.
Kind of like how Meredith lost his position. Like he played good at guard, played center for the benefit of the team, and then now his stock has dropped. Like same thing with Palomao is like he was a strong safety, played decent, played cool. Chin came in, played decent, played cool enough to still keep the position, and now Palomao is the odd man out trying to find his way back on the field. So. And it's his contract year, so I just think that he's going to really ball out this year.
He's going to ball out, yeah. Okay, what should be really helpful for the Raiders because
right,
and I know it's crazy because I know people are not excited about talking about defense as much as they are offense because offense is flashier. But I do think the engine of what's going to power the Raiders team to 8 wins will be the defense.
Yeah, we won't be able to win 8 games unless the defense has some level of cohesion because the offense, as good as they're going to be, I mean, I don't know how good they're going to be, but we know that they're going to be on the field more than the defense because of the play style, right? And so whatever their deficiency happens to be, we need to pick that up on defense to play complementary football. Does that mean we need to play top 5 defense? No, not yet.
No, I don't think so.
But what we do need to do is land somewhere around the middle, so that way we can have room to grow, and but yet we're sturdy enough to not let the offense down. You know,
right?
Because with the whole bend but don't break, I'm a proponent of the bend but don't break, only to the point that. These offensive coordinators are kind of smart, not kind of, but they are very smart, and they're tricky, right? So the thing is, Rob being a new play caller, he's not going to be able to kind of have the insight of what this guy might be calling it. So essentially, he's going to be trying to stop the defense as much as he can until he can find that right play at the right time to stop the play. So as you get closer to the end zone, the defense gets condensed because the field is shorter. So then, at some point he does have to make a good play call, and that's what the bend but don't break, and hopefully those end up in takeaways.
Okay, and it's really good you said that takeaways because again, the only reference that I have is the Seattle defense, and the actual plays the defense was made was so spread out. If we're going based on that logic, it means that Max Crosby is going to get less tackles this year because their defense did the most tackles. Sacks. The most sacks was 7, but 3 players had 7, while other players had. In other words, everybody got some kind of a big play. Everyone on defense on the DB got 1 interception at least. Everyone on the line got at least three sacks, and everyone in the linebacker core got the same amount of numbers. So again, that's what I mean by bend, don't break, in that everyone seems to be doing something right when we need it done. And that's something the Raiders have obviously haven't had because the only person who seems to be able to do something right when we need it done is Max Crosby, right? So then what's going to change to make the Raiders start becoming a team where somebody can always rise up and do what we need done when we need it done. And I think what's going to change is the scheme. I think the way we scheme up players is going to result in those things that we need.
Yeah. Well, to me that would be good because we're playing team defense. If we're playing team defense, I don't mind the numbers dropping.
Exactly.
Because if you spread out the sacks, that essentially means that you don't know who's coming.
Who's coming, right?
And with that Seattle team, like there is no player that really stand out that make you be like, oh, that's the alpha of that whole defense, except for maybe Kobe Bryant, and that's only because his name is Kobe Bryant.
Right. That's
but
true.
he played very well, and like the whole defense played well. I think they were like top 5.
Here's the question. Did the defense play well because they had good players, or the defense play well because they had a good scheme that made the players? Because if you look at their defensive backs, they had a lot of backs on the field. But is that because those guys were just good, or is that because the scheme made them good? Because they were so good that after the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks promptly lost all of their defensive backs. Well, they didn't lose them all, but they lost quite a bit of them, right? Yo, Piz was saying, what's up? Your boy Piz was
what's up with Pizzell? Hey, no, you're right. Like they play so. So the thing is, the scheme played well, but the thing is, you can scheme all you want, but the players still got to make the play.
The players got to make the
So
play.
so as long as everybody play discipline and they communicate appropriately, then yeah, the who's are going to pop out. But we actually have players that's like really, really, I think have the potential to be really, really good, or that's already on the bubble of being good.
Give me one person outside of Max.
Jeremy Chin. I think Chin is good. I think Paul Miles good. I think I mean even Stokes. I think Stokes is going to thrive in this system. And I just think that if we scheme it right and put these players in positions to succeed, then it's going to show. And it just is, and I think that that's going to be good for our defense, because then I mean we have room to grow, but at the same time we do have a level of stability already, because our defense was depleted after we lost all of our linebackers last year.
Yo, Frank
Webb was good.
People are showing up. So what we're talking about tonight is defense. What is a Rob Blanton defense going to look like? And I think I did a bit of research based on what Seattle did last year. I think we're going to try and replicate some of that same systems, some of those same versatility. So if you have any questions, post them, give us some ratings in chat. I think we're going to start getting cooking here. We've been streaming for about 40 minutes, and we're going to cook a little bit more here. So I'm trying to think.
What you think about this? Like, when Patrick Graham first came to the Raiders, we ran a 3-4, and Max Crosby had 14 and a half sacks that year. What do you think about that?
Damn. Okay, that's giving me thoughts.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was wondering how you would kind of fit that into your, because like I said, I don't know. Like I don't know how it's gonna play out.
The thing that holds me back is they traded Max.
Who traded Max?
We traded him at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the offseason.
Well, we traded him because of circumstance, not because of play.
Okay. No, not because of play. I mean, I'm thinking maybe because in a rebuild, the scheme, again, that he wasn't as necessary. Because the thing is, once we tried to trade him, I can't get the idea out of my head that the coaches figured that we didn't really need Max for what we were trying to do on defense.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think Max wanted to go, and they just and Coach Robbie just had to respect it. I mean, he would have preferred to have Max. He said the reason why he came here is to coach Max. So he got to coach Max, and so I mean, I'm sure if I was him, I would rather have a defense with him on it than not on it.
Right.
And so, and when it fell back into his hands, it's kind of like Birdman, got some hands like this, and so I'm thinking he licking his chops now, and
I'm licking my chops.
Yeah, so I'm thinking at the end of the day, if he can get him schemed up right and see what was successful, then I mean this defense will be further along than if we didn't have Max. Because if we didn't have Max, I would be like, we're only going to win like 4 games this year. If we didn't have Max, I would honestly think we were going to win 4 games this year.
Okay. Okay. We'll side that for a second.
Okay.
So the other good thing is that in a 3-4, the funny thing with the 3-4 is a lot of the times you're actually running in the sub package, which generally puts you at a 5-2, because the 3-4 is weak against the run unless you make it a 5-2 when you put those outside linebackers forward. And with that being the case, that is how somebody like Max would get 14 sacks, because you are giving him immediate help with somebody right next to him who's going to be standing up, giving the illusion of either rushing or not rushing, basically confusing the offense. Is that what we're talking when we're talking because that's the only way I can see Max getting 14 sacks. Here's a question, Nation. Do you think Max is still capable of 14 sacks?
I do.
You do. Because
I don't think he's gonna get 14 sacks,
okay,
but I think he's capable of, especially now, because if he don't and you continue to just scheme Max, then Nakobe Dean is gonna go crazy. Quay Walker gonna go crazy. Kwity Paye gonna elevate his level.
Okay.
I mean, granted that he didn't have a bunch of sacks last year, but the year before that and the year before that, I think he had like 8.
And he also has pressures.
So what happened is those guys will start eating, and then that means the defense is going to get better overall. But if you have to scheme everybody, Max can eat. Max can go off. He can definitely have 12.
I think you're right, actually. Because in my head, when I'm looking at the 3-4, I'm seeing pressure from both the outside and the weak side middle linebacker, Nakobe Dean. And both of those potentially coming in is going to confuse a lot of offensive linemen. Which what we want to do is to put Max into a one-on-one situation a lot, right? That's the goal. If we can get him into a one-on-one, most of the time Max is going to win those reps. And so I think you can accomplish that with a lot of blitz, or a lot of look of blitz, right? Max will be gone next year, or this if the team struggles. Oh boy, is it time for that conversation?
Let's not start that. Let's not start that, because first of all, that's a whole season away, so we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. I'm pretty sure we show signs of improvement.
You did say if the team struggles.
And not only that, the defense is going to take more than 1 year to come together. Like you can't expect a defense to just hit the ground running. Like that's kind of not like how that works when it comes to defense.
Right. I want to give you a hot take though. I think this defense is going to get off hot running.
Well, I think the defense is, but I think it is. That's what I'm saying. I think if we could land at like, I don't know, 18 somewhere in there. I'm talking about like start off there and then just start kind of getting better from there, because our offense start catching on. You know, because it's not that they're going to get substantially better. I mean, they're going to get better as they play with each other. But I'm saying as the offense get more continuity, then we're going to be able to play more games ahead. Because our issue last year was we couldn't play games ahead of other teams.
Right.
And that's been really our problem the last 2 or 3 seasons. Like we haven't been able to get a lead and play from ahead. And so consequently that puts a lot of strain on your defense. But if you have an offense that controls the time of possession, that nullifies or neutralizes other teams' potent offenses by keeping them off the field, then that helps the defense all the way around.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, man. If the Raiders defense is not like top 18 or maybe just top 20, I feel like something would have to go wrong. Somebody got injured. Because everyone we brought in is really good at their position. At least they're very effective at their positions for multiple years. So it's not like he had a breakout year and then we brought him. It's like, no, these guys have been doing it well for at least 4 years in the NFL, every one of them, and getting progressively better. I mean, when you bring all of them together, I don't see anything lower than top 20, man.
No, I think anything lower than top 20 is kind of like, oh my God, we really like got a lot of work to do. Like
Yeah.
if we're lower than 20, we have a lot of work to do, which I think we have a lot of work to do. But I'm just saying, I don't think we should. That should not be our starting point. Our launching point is sub 20. And I mean, just
Yeah.
based on the players that we have.
Because again, the weakest area is the linebacker, but again, that's also the area where if you just move Malcolm Coons to outside stand-in rusher instead of the 3 tech, just from a stand-in, he becomes a hybrid linebacker edge, and I actually think he'll fit much better in that role. So it's like even with the linebacker, just move a couple of people here and there, and you'll just have better. I'm trying to find the weakness, and maybe the second cornerback is the weakness. But then at that point, the competition there is so good that whoever comes in for whoever's not doing well is bound to do better.
Exactly. That's probably what's going to end up happening. They're going to probably test the corner, right? They're gonna test the corner, similar to how they did last year. They was testing Caillou. They were testing Paulo Malo at free safety because they know he was out of position. So I can see the same thing happen. They're going to test Porter if he starts, and they're gonna test Stooks as safety. But what's going to happen is they're going to test Stooks, and he's going to be as advertised. That's not to say he's going to get hella picks or anything, but he's going to be in position. One of the things about playing safety is majority of it is just being in position, and not taking bad angles because you're out of position. Or a blown coverage, right? And he's good at that, and he has the speed to make up for it. He has intelligence and everything, and so I just seem to think they're going to test it, and then they're going to kind of get burnt a couple of times, and then they're going to be forced to try to find matchups on the field. And if Porter is the weak spot at the moment, then he's going to come up. And then you put if you put Jermod in there, right? Or you flip flop him in masses or something like that, and then one of them get a pick or two. Now you got to start trying to test
test the other side. Now
you got to try to test the other side, right? So that kind of keeps the pressure off one particular player.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the Seattle defense, right? That's what it was. It's we're going to make sure that you spread out who you're putting pressure on, because that helps us scheme better. Because if you want to put pressure on what's his name, Darian Porter, because you think he's the weakest link, well, we've got a Kopidin that's going to put pressure on your quarterback. That's going to hurry you the hell up to throwing that ball. And just enough time for him to snap around and get that interception. And if he can't do it, well, we get Hezekiah Masses, who seems to be good at doing that. So, I'm trying to find a solid, there's the weakness. We're not going to go over this. Because last year, we knew what the weakness was. Linebacker, we had nothing there. We didn't address it. Oh, we tried to address it. Obviously, we didn't address. No, we didn't even address it. No. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted. Muted. You're muted.
I know, right? Thanks. Our linebackers did well, actually. It's just that what was going on is we were putting a lot of pressure on Paul Malu, because whenever you send the linebackers, then that puts a lot of pressure on the back end, because now you're kind of like selling out to hurry the play.
Right.
And so then they already knowing, okay, cool, they might get to us.
Right.
So we gotta run this route across his face. You feel me?
Right.
So I think if Rob Leonard, by going to the 3-4 and you put more people, you don't know who's dropping back in that sense. Because if you run in a 4-3 and then you got a strong nickel, he keeps blitzing. That's where the soft area is going to be most of the time. And then the other linebackers are just playing true. So I think with the 3-4, you don't know. They might all drop back, and then we just rush 3, or you might have 3 drop back, we rush 3 and 1 off the edge, or you might blitz one of the linebackers, and then one of the guys drop back. So it's just a lot of things that we could do.
Lickling, I think that's it. You're right. I totally forgot about that. Remember Jeremiah Pratt?
Khalil King.
Is that what it is? Khalil King, like Khalil Mack King, like Khalil King.
Yeah,
Khalil King.
Right.
I was like, look. Anyway, Yeah. Jermaine Pratt quit on us before the season started. Remember that? He was gone.
Yeah.
And then Cooper
he
retired.
went to Indy and went crazy, though. He played good in Indy, though.
Yeah. Did he play well in Indy? Is that where he went?
Mm-hmm.
Man, what? I don't care. I don't care.
You know what it was? It was a personality. It was a
anchor.
personality issue with the coaching staff, because they wanted him to play out of position. Because remember, Pete Carroll was having people playing out of positions because he had this exotic defense. Because his whole thing was to get certain players free to shoot the gap. So
really, he was a dog in Indy. I didn't even know that. Okay. Because I do think that was the biggest issue last year. Too many people were playing out of position. And it was pretty obvious that even Jamal Adams, even he felt like he was playing out of position. Your camera is gone, but I think that's on purpose.
I think it kind of worked for us, though. I think, like,
you think it worked for us last year?
Yeah, I think our linebackers played pretty good. It's just that we didn't have no free safety.
Yeah,
and then plus Caillou and Porter was getting picked on all year.
I feel like if we ask them, they would say that we didn't give them enough time to, that the pressure wasn't that the pressure wasn't enough for them to give them time to get those picks and the pass breakups.
Right.
Because
we got more aggressive linebackers where you don't have to necessarily scheme like how Pete Carroll was scheming to get them up, and like they're going to come downhill because that's just what they do.
I think he's talking about Pratt. I totally forgot about Pratt because I do wonder if the hope of Pratt was, and because I know Pratt was our best linebacker that we brought in last year. He disappeared before the season started.
Yeah, it was like, was it before the season started? If it wasn't, it was like real close. I think it was before the season started, though. But he definitely went to Indy and he balled out. But that's because they wanted him to do something that he wasn't trying to do. So he essentially just said, "I'm not doing it," and they just said, "All right, well, we're getting rid of you then," and he was cool with that.
Okay. Because again, this year we don't have any of those troubles.
No. Amber says, "What?" No, I was just reading the comment. Amber said the defense was good, but the offense get better outside of the quarterback. Yeah, our O-line got much better, and our quarterback got much better, and that's like twofold. That's like two folds. Like that kind of like will fix what was going on with our offense. Like our offense was not really a 32nd ranked offense, but the way we were calling plays, the way we were developing our players, the way we were playing who's who on the line, the way we put Jordan Meredith at center, and then Stone Forsythe, those just weren't good. Those just weren't good decisions. Mm-hmm. So we paid, and that was Pete Carroll's fault because that was a pride thing. It appears to be a pride thing.
I do think the decisions this year was easier to make.
Yeah,
because we brought in people to just play their same positions. This year, no one is going to have to change positions, or unless you're going back to something you already knew before, because we just brought in people to fill in those holes that were lacking. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what, the Raiders? I don't know about that, but I'm pretty sure the shield is worldwide.
Right. I'm pretty sure he got some silver and black in his closet that he wearing.
Exactly. With a few hats and a few Snickers here and there.
Right.
You got a shrine set up for Al Davis in your closet. Oh, we know the truth. We know what's
right.
going
We know
on.
the truth.
We know the truth. So camp is starting next week, right? End of next week. Camp is starting camp. I'm gonna have a great next week. My next week is gonna be amazing because Battlefield 6 gets a big update. That's a video game. Marvel Tokon gets a beta. That's a fighting game. Training camp starts. Yeah. What's your next week look like? Because
I'm just. So let me see
ready.
what's next
ready.
week. Yeah. I'm ready for the
like this stream's
the competition to start.
Yeah, this stream is fun, but it's like, oh, this is like a precursor to the precursor. The actual pre-conversations is training camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So right now it's just more like just vibing, kind of waiting to see. I think it's we got time. We can end at 9:30. Here,
Yeah,
I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. Give me your 3 biggest stories, 3 biggest answers you want by the start of preseason 1 game. The biggest story, the biggest questions you want answered. You can do the same, Nation. Let me repeat. The 3 biggest questions you want answers for by the start of week 1 preseason.
By the first preseason game?
The first preseason game. Yeah.
It's kind of tough. The question I want to
I mean, I can give you one by the first. Well, yeah.
Well,
no, it's a hard question, but it's good.
Well, because of going into the preseason game, I really don't. I don't. I guess I can't really. I won't be able to tell unless the preseason game go first.
Here's one. Will Matt Crosby be ready for preseason game 1?
Oh yeah, that was one for me, but I kind of got the answer to that already.
Oh.
Well, because I seen him at the SAC Summit.
At the SAC? Oh, so you think he'll be ready?
And then remember I showed it at where he was racing.
Oh yeah, I did.
Jared Verse, and they asked him how he felt, and he was like he felt 1,000%.
So you think? So wait, day 1 training camp. You think Max is going to be there, ready, suited up, ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if he isn't, then I wouldn't feel no type of way about it. But at the same time, like you said, that is something I would want to know going into
by preseason game 1,
to first preseason game, and then maybe one for me is how many reps do AOC get? Because if I see AOC getting a whole bunch of reps, that means he's probably not going to be here.
The more reps he gets, the more you think he's going to be traded.
Yes. I know a lot of people think the more reps he get, the more chances he's going to get to start, but that's not
No, I agree with you. No, I'm with you. I think the more reps he gets, the more likely he's going to be traded. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if it's not by the regular season, by the trade deadline, like
that's
somebody's going to need a quarterback for sure. They always do.
Will he get traded before the first preseason game?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. So you don't think any quarterback is going to get injured that's going to require someone to say, okay, let's go get him. Okay.
No, but I just think once the season starts and once you're about 4 or 5 games in, teams that's on a bubble, teams that's on a bubble that don't want to lose their season will spend for a quarterback right now. Because let's say if it's week 6 and your team is 3-2, but you start off 3-1, or you 4-2, or something like that, and you don't want to go to 4-3, you want to stay 5 and something and try to keep your hopes alive, then you will go out and spend for a quarterback, like especially if like a Geno Smith go down, which I don't think is going to happen, or if like Arizona, their quarterback situation is kind of like
I think if Arizona gets an injury, they're going to try to trade for O'Connell. I could see them doing that.
But Brissett is good out there. It could be a situation like that in Minnesota. It could be a situation like that in Miami. It's just like we just don't know what those quarterbacks are going to do. Even Atlanta, because even Atlanta's having issues because Tua's a quarterback. Penix is there, but Penix haven't practiced all offseason because he's still trying to get back from his injury from last year. So God forbid if something was to happen to Tua, they need a quarterback like emergency like.
Frank Weber, good one. Wide receiver group and alignment. First of all, clarify what you mean by alignments, as in like where the wide receiver is going to be lining up. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It is a good one because I was going to say how our wide receivers are going to present themselves, but I don't know if we're going to. I don't know if we're going to show that. I don't think we're going to show that in the preseason. I don't think we're going to show it that much. I don't think we're going to show it in camp that much. I don't think we're going to show a lot in preseason. I mean, we might do it in camp more than preseason, but I just don't think in preseason we're going to see a whole lot of our wide receivers.
I think in training, I would love to know. I have a general idea before the preseason game 1. Who seems like they're going to be the next target after Brock Bowers? Like this person is going to be the for sure go-to after Brock Bowers. Namely because it should be Trey Tucker.
Oh.
But it may not be Trey Tucker. You know what I mean?
Well, so here's the thing, right? So this is a concern I heard about Trey Tucker, which is a legitimate concern, but I think it's something that he can. I think it's something that he can overcome. They're saying that Trey Tucker can't really run a bunch of routes on the route tree. He's more like a vertical guy. No. He's a vertical guy, right? That's a shame. So for me, I'm like, if he can work that route tree, maybe be somewhat of an Edelman, somewhat of a Wes Walker type, and he can, get open early and then get yards after the catch.
Even Hunter Renfrow.
And he can sustain hits. Yeah, Hunter Renfrow. He can sustain hits, then he'll be cool. If not, then we're going to have to use Naylor in that situation. But I think Naylor is going to be on the boundary because as the X receiver, because out of all the receivers that we have, he's the one that can get off the ball versus the other ones can't.
He's also the biggest. He's the tallest. Yeah, he may actually he may.
And he's faster than Jack. And he's faster than Jack Besh. But I kind of also think that Dante Thornton will get his position back.
Okay, you do.
A lot of people are out on Dante Thornton, but I think Dante Thornton is going to start again because he still commands. He's going to command eyes on him on the outside because he is fast and he's big. And if they don't pay attention to him and we throw the ball to him while they thinking we running the ball, it's gonna just be terrible for defenses.
I think my thing with him is I still don't think he creates enough separation to really scare him. Maybe this year he will. But let's get to some. Amber says AOC is going to be the first one. Here's the question: do you really think AOC is going to be the first QB any team that needs a QB will look for? If a team gets injured, do you think the first team they're going to call is the Raiders and say, "Okay, AOC, what 6? You want a 6?"
Want a 6? I mean, like who's out there? I mean, like.
Anyone who gets a quarterback injured in training camp and needs an emergency, like we need to keep the competition going. If you show up in training camp and a quarterback breaks a leg first day of training camp, you got to get somebody else because you need that competition, right?
I mean, I can see a Flacco or something like that. Of
course,
those are going to be the guys that get the first choice, right? Quarterbacks that are starters, but they're no longer starters because of their age or whatnot. That's why I'm like, Kirk Cousins ain't a Joe Flacco at this point in his career. If he starts to hit a wall, then I'll look at him like that. But right now, I see Kirk Cousins as a starter. Now, as far as Flacco started last year.
I read it wrong. Amber actually said AOC is not the first. That's football. And I agree. Because he said Mark Jones and Carson Wentz. I'm like, I would call Mac Jones first too. Go ahead.
Where Mac Jones at? He with the Niners?
He's still with the Niners. Oh, Mac Jones is feeling himself. Mac Jones knows he's going somewhere next.
Well, yeah, Mac Jones held it down for him last year. Yeah, I mean, he barely did it because he was getting hit left and right though. But one thing I garnered a lot of respect for him because as much as he was getting hit and he was getting hurt, he was still fighting. He still was playing, and he still was winning. And so that's why when I say you can't escape getting hit. I don't care how well you scheme something. Like that's a Kubiak system too that they run over there, except for they just happen to get hit more over there with San Francisco and Shanahan. But all I'm saying is this. I'm saying AOC, even at whatever point they're gonna hit him. And he's not going to be able to labor like I saw Mac Jones did because he just not. I mean, I don't think nothing. I don't think nothing negative of him. I just don't think he's that tough, especially the injuries I've seen him take and how he's responded to them.
Yeah. That I don't want to pick on AOC again. I like him. I just like him as a person. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think his mustache tells me he's a good dude. Just intuitive, like yes. Give it that super trooper mustache. I love it.
With a little CHP cop, you look like a cop,
yeah. Somebody Thornton wins. So we're hoping Thornton wins. Okay, do you really love? Okay, what's the comp? Are we hoping? Because if you're like, we're hoping becomes Randy Moss, I'm like, yes.
No.
But I'm afraid people don't think he's going to become Randy Moss. And I'm like, I want him to think he can become Randy Moss.
Why would we think that?
Because he's 6'5" and he runs a 4.3.
That don't make him Randy Moss.
If he can become the next Randy Moss, he's got the prototype.
Nah, I just need you to be the first Dante Thornton, man. Just be the first Dante Thornton. And because I mean, like, quiet as kept, Dante Thornton really sealed the game for us. Our first win last year, and he started. And the thing
I want 100 yards per game from him. I want 80 to 100 yards per game.
It's asking a lot.
That's 3 like mid dip shots. That's it. That's 3 posts.
Yeah, that's not.
If he gets 3 passes of 20 yards, that's what I want from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's not. They're not gonna allow. Trust me. Trust me. If he go out there and he catch 2 passes past 20 yards, or he keep getting separation, they're gonna start rolling the defense towards him a little bit, and that's what you want.
Yeah,
that's what you want because now you just put Brock Bowers on the opposite side of the field, or you put him on the same side, but you run him to the opposite side of the field. Because you can roll the defense to the offense's right, but if Brock Bowers running to the left, somebody got to stay there, or just gonna keep running in the middle. Open.
But listen to my dream, nation. I have a dream that Dante Thornton can turn into a 215-pound beast of a human being wide receiver who can run a 4.3. And at 6'5", it can outmoss any receiver. He can box any receiver out and become a 1,700-yard receiver. That's my dream. Maybe I'm just dreaming too much. But I'm like, no, like when I say, I'm just like, yeah, people like you are not built for the NFL. If you're that tall and you're that fast and you can catch the ball well, it's like you are in a very rare camp. We're talking Randy Moss. We're talking Megatron. The list is not long. It's not a long list of 6'5" wide receivers in the NFL who are like.
It's not. I just think that's unfair. That thing for him.
You don't think that's okay?
Because you know the reason why, because the thing about Thornton is he's not the receiver that high points the ball.
Yeah.
You know he uses his speed for sure.
So you don't think he can learn how to high point then?
No, I it's not that I don't think he can learn it. I just don't think he's comfortable with it yet.
With it.
Now, I've seen him make some catches, though. I have seen him make some catches that was like pro-level catches. So I'm not out on him. I'm not out on him. I just think he's good. I think he's going to be a regular wide receiver, and I think that he's a good fit because he creates spacing on the field for us.
Because you know who's going to be the next like big Mossing wide receiver that everyone who's going to be like the next like Larry Fitzgerald. He might be Terrell McMillan. Because that dude can moss. Well, I guess Drake London also, but Terrell McMillan can moss. So a part of me kind of wants Thornton to be a Terrell McMillan, but I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not really his game. He doesn't want to go up and put his hands in the air and leave his body wide open.
Yeah.
But what about because Tay Higgins is the same thing, right? Tay Higgins is 6'4", runs like a 4.3 something. But again, Ted Higgins is a big who will also get up and monster ball. And I kind of want that for Thornton. I guess if he doesn't become that, that's totally fine. If he can average 600 yards per season,
there we go,
and like 4 touchdowns,
that sounds more.
Okay.
That sounds
Okay.
I could deal with that.
I could deal with that. Yeah.
Like if he gets 600 and Best get like 400 and Naylor get like about 600 and Trey Tucker get like 800, 900.
900.
Ours get like 12 or 1,300. That's a lot of yards.
So here's the question: would Raider Nation prefer one receiver to get 1,500 yards or 3 receivers to equal 2,000 yards?
If they were smart, they would want 3 receivers to equal that.
Exactly, because that's just better for the scheme.
Yeah, it's just better for the scheme.
Yeah, it'll win you more games. So that's, I mean, again, JSN did it with 1,700 yards last year, which was a friction. They did win the Super Bowl, but
yeah,
I think generally speaking, you kind of would prefer those yards to be spread around.
Well, Cooper Kupp, he had Cooper Kupp and
Cooper Kupp
and Rashid Shaheed, like
that's right,
so
Rashid Shaheed, that's right. So
you have to scheme, even though his numbers aren't really big like that. You got to scheme for him because Rashid Shaheed will hurt you if you don't pay attention to him. And Cooper Kupp is just a consummate pro. Like he's gonna do all the things for you. He's gonna catch the ball. He's gonna block. He's gonna command the defense.
I looked at Cooper Kupp's measurables and Dante Thornton's measurables. They're identical. Same size, same height. I think same type of speed coming out of. So again, with the coach that just schemed up Cooper Kupp to assist another receiver, I think Dante Thornton could accomplish that same role. And he's much younger than Cooper Kupp. I don't know if he's as fat. Is Cooper Kupp known for speed? Because Best is not known for speed.
No, who you comparing? Cooper Kupp and who?
Cooper Kupp and Jack Best.
Oh.
Same size, same height.
Cooper Kupp is probably faster than him, and not only that, Cooper Kupp got his route. Moves. He got separation.
It's that right running. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say Cooper Kupp.
He gets the separation that everybody talking about that Best don't get. He gets that separation because he commands gravity. Like he commands gravity. Like, and if you forget about him, he'll remind you that he's on the field.
That's the thing. Okay, so on that Dante Thornton, because that's kind of what I want from Dante Thornton. Is like, no, I can be Megatron. I'm not just a speed guy. For Jack Best, I want him to be able to become a Cooper Kupp. Now, how would he do it if he doesn't have the same type of speed? But I think if you can quicken your feet and get that separation, like you can then use your power to get that yak, right? Because that's what I think that's where Jack Best is going to shine. I've said it before. Is yards after catch. That's what we're going to be looking for him, right?
Yeah, well, Cooper Kupp, this part of his career, he's a possession receiver.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to you real quick to chat. We're gonna get because you guys are saying some really good stuff. I'm seeing some Genties got a fullback now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Are we? What percentage of plays is fullback gonna be on the field? Actual in your estimate?
I think
because if we're talking fullback, we're talking I formation. We're talking. Split formation.
Even like 21 personnel, like you can put him on the tight end. Like you can have Brock Bowers playing an X receiver, Mayer have him playing one tight end, and have him playing another tight end with a single back.
And when you need, you can motion him to the
you
other
can
side.
Motion him, and then you can block somebody. You can like target somebody to block, and then then keep running, and then that way we run the ball, and then not only that, that's how you keep him on the field. Now, how much he's going to be on the field, I don't know, but I think he's going to be there a fairly good amount of time.
I think after hearing what you're saying, I think he's going to be on the field about 35 to 40% of the time.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Because again, every first down, there's no reason not to have a fullback out there just to let people know with Genty, we're just gonna come for you. Because the thing with fullback, most teams in the NFL, maybe not most teams, but fullbacks have kind of gone out of style in the NFL. But beauty of a fullback is that there are people whose specific job is to block, where you're going to use them to target one person and take that person out of the play. So with that being said, yeah, I could see him being on the field 35 to 40% of the times.
Yeah, for sure.
Now,
and that was somebody we went and got him.
They got him, yeah, exactly.
Specifically.
Now, I don't know if he can catch because, again, fullbacks don't need to know how to catch. But if you can, that gives one more little extra level of, oh, yeah, let's
he can do it all. He can do it all. He's even our tush push guy. Like, as much as I don't like the tush push, as much as I don't care for it, I won't say I don't like it. As much as I don't care for it, if we got a guy that can do it, then we need to do it too, then. But
so we got a question specifically for bad guy. Now we're not gonna go top 5 because that's gonna be too much. Let's go top 3. That would be the top 3 things you think Mike McDonald learned from Clint Kubiak. Oh no, what do you think Clint Kubiak learned from Mike McDonald? 3 things you think Clint Kubiak learned from Mike McDaniels.
Well, I think for sure.
I'll give you mine when you're done.
I think our pillars that we have is what it what it is. The pillars is don't give up any big plays, stop the run, and takeaways. Takeaways. And then I guess one thing I could say is team defense. Like team defense. It's not about one player. It's about team defense and versatility.
Team defense. Yeah. And when it comes to team defense, we've already alluded to that with Seattle. What made them great was there was no one person who got way more stats above everybody else, but everybody ate. It was literally like having the 12 disciples because they got the coach, and they all just feasting at the table. That's like.
But imagine if we have a who's who on defense plus a Max Crosby though.
Plus a Max Crosby.
You know what I'm saying? Because essentially, that's the defense. We didn't have one star player on our defense coming into this season. Before we got Max back, because once we got rid of Max, we were thinking, okay, cool. Because really, the star of the defense was going to be Nakobe Dean. But the thing is, he's injury. We have injury concerns. So, it's kind of like 50-50. We don't really know for sure. We got to see it. Now, coming into this year, though, we got that same kind of defense where we're relying on the Kobe Dean and Quay Walker to act up in our new players, but we got a Max Crosby also just in case to stop that learning curve from hurting our defense. Because if we didn't have Max, there's no way I could think this defense is top 20. Yeah.
Let me give a quick stop for chat real quick. We got our boy Fluffy coming in with the Espanol. I did not speak Spanish, but Messi will win. Here's the question: Who wins the World Cup? Just give me your name.
I don't know. I haven't watched none of it.
Okay. The final teams are Argentina and Spain. Who wins? Chat, let us know. That is the only football question.
El fútbol de Americana. We're talking el fútbol de Americana.
Okay, so that's one thing. What else do you think Clinton learned from Mike?
No, I just think those things that I think the versatility piece, like everybody got to be able to play. And it's not necessarily so much as the scheme; it's the culture that he brings. Like that's what I think that and I don't necessarily, and I think part of that is Kubiak, and it's solidified with McDonald because it played out in real time for him. So now he's that guy that comes in and influence everybody instead of being the one that's being influenced. So I just think he taught him how to be the captain of the ship, basically. And he's doing a great job so far because he's not on social media. So he's not going to be listening to the Raider fans talk about put in Mendoza or do this or do that. He's not going to be listening to the Raider fans. I wouldn't even be surprised
if he doesn't have a cell phone.
Right.
It's like,
so I'm happy about that.
I think if I have to say, I think given the way Seattle's defense was last year, I think the one thing he would have learned strategy-wise is how to skim up a defense where having only 4 rushers would still get the job done in terms of getting the pressure and trying to find somebody who is able to scheme that up. And I think that's why Rob Leonard being hired was such a deal, because I think once he heard him talk, he was like, oh yeah, you're trying to implement what I just saw, what I just learned from Mike. You understand that, and I'm hoping that you can implement that same system, because I think there's no way you can win a Super Bowl with that type of defense and not immediately go, oh shit, this is a great defense, and we need to immediately start learning whatever they did and replicating that. So I do think that's one thing that was learned.
Yeah, I mean, their defense ranked really, really high, and we didn't know, like you said, we didn't know who these people were. But a lot of that has to do with the offense too, though. The defense played well, don't get me wrong, but that offense sets the tone.
Right. So you okay. Yeah. So you're basically saying that Clint Kubiak's offense, he's going in with the mindset the offense is going to set the tone.
Yeah. Because if the offense put up points, then the defense
it's less work on the defense to fight.
Yeah, it's less work on the defense, and then it's like okay, compliment the offense, because the offense. If let's say if we get a takeaway, right? Because the goal of getting a takeaway is so the offense could get the ball and score. It's
right
not
away.
just to take the ball away to stop them from scoring. It's for us to get the ball and score, so that way we could either go up by a score, or if we're up by 3, now we're up by 10. You know what I'm saying? That changed the complexion of the game when you get a turnover and score. So that's what we're going to be trying to do. As the defense turn the ball over, we're gonna. You don't think we're gonna dial it up? We're gonna really dial it up if the defense turn. We're not gonna do like last year, get the turnover, and then the offense go out there and go 3 and out, or go out there and turn the ball over. Like that's not gonna happen a lot.
And I actually think one of the biggest thing that's gonna happen this year, we talked about takeaways and sacks, but the most not underrated, because we know it, but we don't really talk about it, is that the momentum shift off a takeaway jazzes up an offense so quickly that you can very quickly snowball on the other team, that a takeaway can easily lead to a touchdown, because everyone's brain is just firing so much quicker after that takeaway or after that big sack. And you gotta say, like, if a team like Seattle Seahawks wins the defense with the type of stats their defense, a Super Bowl with the type of stats their defense showed, it's that takeaway can come from anywhere on the field. It's not just that person is going to give you issue. It's that person is going to give you issue. And when you talk to that person, they're going to give you issues. And then you start having ping pongs where multiple times a game, you got some player making a big play. And I think all of that combined will definitely rattle an opponent if you're able to capitalize on that with great offensive play that leads to a touchdown.
Right.
So I got a question for me here too. Hey, Good Raider. Early in the season when Clint was consistent in calling trick plays with Jalen Milroe, really, and ended with Cooper Kupp interception. Do you have worries about this type of play? Early in the season, he did that. No, I do not have worries about that type of play. That type of play should generally happen early in the season. We're talking like first week, second week, just to kind of deepen the communication between the offense, kind of gauge where the offense are when it comes to understanding more of those complexities like trick plays. But no, I don't think Clint Kubiak is a type of coach that will even do a ton of trick plays, and I think he will reserve trick plays primarily for times of need, but you do have to test them at the beginning of the season. But no, I do not think that's not something I'm worried about at all. Genty with blocking is 1,500 yards.
All purpose, or is that?
Yeah, exactly. We're talking all purpose, just rushing. Because if we're saying rushing,
yeah, that's a little much.
I would put all purpose at 1,700. And I would say rushing would be about 1,200 and 500 receiving.
Yeah, I can see like 500 receiving.
500 receiving.
1,100
rushing. Yeah.
Put
it at about 16, 17 total.
Yeah, like Weber said though, like no more of that getting hit in the backfield stuff. Like that's gonna That's not going to happen as much no more.
Yeah, exactly. Again,
I mean, so imagine what that do to the psyche of your running back you already know that you at least get to find a lane to cut and hit, and then you can do your thing, right?
I think the hardest thing about saying that to people, like that's not gonna happen anymore, is that you need to have a good understanding of football to make that kind of statement. And you need to not hate the team the statement is being made about, to not say, well, how do you know that the Raiders, they're gonna always be bad? So it's like, no, if you're talking football, getting hit in the back of the field by a running back, that's really not football. That's if your running back is getting hit in the back of the field, that's bad. That is like below NFL. Well, not below NFL, but you're talking bottom of the pack. Bottom of the pack. So just the fact that he will not get hit in the back of the field as much means that, he will get 200 to 300, potentially more yards.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that's what, and I have to say that because when you say things like, oh, that won't happen, people are just like, well, you're the Raiders. You suck. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's like, no, it won't happen because if you understand football, you'll understand why last year was just an anomaly in the negative sense for our team.
Well, what happened was that showed me that Genty actually is advertised because
exactly.
what we wanted to figure out was he worth the number 6 pick? That was the question. The question is, like, you usually don't go get a running back that high, but we needed a running back. Like we just got an all world tight end. We didn't have a quarterback per se, but we had a chance to get an elite running back. So we went and got him. And so then once you've seen, okay, cool, he's a rookie, he could have really went into a shell right there. You know, when you talk about hurting the confidence of a rookie, it doesn't just apply to the quarterback. It just affects the quarterback more. It can happen to a running back too, but it's a little bit different because if you go put a fullback in front of that same running back, even if they had the same kind of line, if you had a fullback back there, it would have made a little bit of difference, maybe a medium amount of difference. Imagine now putting a fullback back there and a play caller and a zone scheme.
Right.
So it's just by nature you're gonna have higher production.
To get back to your question there, Roy, you said I should look into Seattle. He called really bad trick plays. Yeah, I would say that's Seattle, and he was an offensive coordinator then. He wasn't a head coach. And again, what Kubiak was brought in to do is to build a dynasty. He's here to build a program. He's not here to be a one-year wonder. And the best way to be a one-year wonder or a one-trick play is to start throwing out a ton of trick plays when, one, you have no X receiver, no defined X receiver yet. And if you're going to do a trick play, well, you better be using your fastest person in the field. And your fastest person in the field is Trey Tucker, and he may not beat that kind of player. So, no, there's just not really a lot of ways for Kubiak to even try trick plays. We don't have the personnel to want to do like a play that's going to take forever. Like in the first year of Kubiak, he's trying to install an offense that hopefully would be the offense for the next 10 years. So I don't see any trick plays happening, even if he did it with Seattle.
Yeah, I think he might do what we would call a trick play, but I don't think it would be like a staple in his offense. I mean, like you got to always watch for it, but I don't think it's going to be something that we have to worry about. Like, why'd you call that? Like, or even if he do call that, we don't have to rely on him calling it again if it don't work because it is part of the offensive package.
Because I do think the mentality of trick plays itself tells you that you will only call a trick play if you're trying to get something wow. If it's like, guys, we are getting our ass kicked. Let's just do something unseen. Or if you're trying to quickly, if it's like a close game and you're trying to do something that the defense was just not even thinking about because you're thinking about your fundamentals, and then you throw a trick play and then just like, fuck, we were not thinking about that. Yeah, that's the only time you would do a trick play. So again, I don't see trick plays at all being a factor, a staple.
Yeah,
I'm sorry it was for you guys. A great question, but again, you did win the Super Bowl, so maybe he did it at the beginning of the season just to see what the team was, and then realizing, okay, we're not there yet. Went back to fundamentals for the rest of the season and won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, I guess if if he does the same thing with the Raiders, like start the season up doing a bunch of trick plays, I can say, okay, well, he won a Super Bowl winning doing trick plays at the beginning of the season, so I'm not going to be that worried, because it could be that trick plays is his way of gauging where the team is in communication, because that is what an offensive trick play will get you. How well does your team communicate? Because trick plays just take longer to accomplish, right? So communication and head on the swivel has to happen for longer. So yeah.
And not only that, you got to be able to keep the defense off you.
Off you, yeah, exactly. Oh, dude.
So you don't want to just call a trick play just because it's in the playbook. I mean, like it's almost like setting up the pass with the play action. You gotta call it at the right time. You can't just call it like a play action like Chip Kelly was on first down, thinking, oh, they're gonna respect the run because it's first down. Like, no, like if you ain't set it up, they not falling for it.
Yo, Ray, I was laughing because of your comment, because you're right. It was like, I don't feel sorry for him. Like, no, you're right. I don't feel sorry for you. You won a Super Bowl. I don't feel sorry for you at all.
Right.
And I live in Vancouver, so I know Seahawks fans over here are happy. So no, I don't feel sorry for you at all. If he wants to do that same thing here, do a bunch of trick plays and then take us to the Super Bowl, hell, I'm down with that. We do gotta end now, though, guys. We gotta end now. It's already 9:33. I gotta go hang out with the wifey. It was crazy bizarre. I'll go look at it myself. I mean, look, again, trick plays can be a gauge of how well you think your team can communicate. And the more bizarre it is, because trick plays, they're so bizarre. It really is about communication, because trick plays can go from 100% touchdown or 0% touchdown the other way.
It could definitely get ugly.
So if a coach is running that a lot, I would think it comes down to, I need to know how well we can communicate complex, because a trick play is going to have it's just like a play added to another play, added to another play. A trick play could potentially be like 3 plays in one, and that's the confusion. Which play are they going to run? I mean, I would use that to kind of gauge where my team is, kind of see how well we can communicate. And if I'm finding that we can't, I'm just going to say, okay, let's pull away from it, right? Mm-hmm. The Statue of Liberty is, yeah, exactly. Because the Statue of Liberty is a shotgun that's showing pass, and the quarterback actually makes a pass in motion and then drops the ball back, puts it on his backside, and then hands it up to the wide receiver. That's like 3 plays in one.
Whatever we call, make sure it works.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We should end. Tomorrow's Sunday. We will not be back tomorrow because tomorrow's Sunday. But starting next week, we got to start grinding. Starting next week, training camp is next week. We got topics ready. We got plenty of topics ready for you guys. But yeah, we should be back Monday for the start of training week start. So when does training camp actually start? When is the official Raiders start training camp for veterans? Because the rookies start earlier. No, they don't.
I think the veterans on the 28th, and I think the rookies on the 23rd, I believe. 23rd. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is.
The 23rd is next week, Thursday. Yeah. So if it's the 23rd, if someone can confirm that if it's the 23rd, yeah, we should be starting our training camp next week, Thursday. Mm-hmm. If you're showing that plate, go watch the VODs, hit a like, hit a subscribe on both channels. I know some of you are coming from him, from Black, and some of you are coming from me. I'm Black. He's Black. I'm Black. I'm good. He's bad. You get the point.
Right. Right. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, hit the likes on both channels, and we will see you guys again on Monday, probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll be there to talk training camp start.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, like we always say, I'm a Raider, you're a Raider, he's a Raider, she's a Raider, from Oakland to the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
You feel me?
Have a wonderful night.
I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.